Hey guys, thanks for having me at Mom Camp. Usually the couch is where I do my business, but today when we talk about the mother load, I'm going to stand because I have some really important things that I'm going to share with you. So Mom Camp, why do we even need a mom camp? What's the big deal about being a mom? Maybe you've talked to your mother and she made it sound like a walk in the park, a piece of cake. Is that how you feel about being a mom? That's not how I feel about being a mom. So what's the deal? Let's talk about this. Let's take a little trip in history and figure out at what point did it become so difficult to become a mom. So really what happened was, in the mid to late 1990s, we had this new term called the helicopter mom. Do you know the term, helicopter mom? Basically, it just meant a mom that hovered around their child and basically watched everything they did from play dates to school, and they were just on top of everything. Now, we've progressed from the helicopter mom. Now we have the lawnmower mom and the bulldozer mom that just clears out the path for their child. So basically being a mom has to do with like a lot of heavy machinery. But what's that about? What's the big deal? What happened in the 90s? Why did we even have this helicopter heavy machinery parent phenomenon? This didn't just fall out of the sky. Well, really what happened was culturally something shifted. So historically, things that marked your status were your house, your job, your car, your neighborhood, the jewels you wore. But in the 90s, something shifted, and suddenly we got a little bored with those markers. And this happens culturally. This is why we have different shifts and different phenomena. So what happened was suddenly, while these things still are important, even today, like your car, and your house, and your job, and your vacations, and what you do, and where you live, those are all still status markers. But in the 90s, our children became the new status marker. And that was the introduction of the helicopter parent. So now, even today, whether you agree with me or you don't, the truth is, children have become the new status markers for our families. Think about your weekend. Are your weekends now about what you have to do, or all the places your children have to be? If you answered B, then you understand what I'm talking about. Children have become the new status symbols for family. If your child is successful, you are successful, and you look like a good mom. Are you with me? The problem is, that's a risk to put all of this leverage on a child who's trying to figure out who they are, who they're gonna be, what they like, what they don't like. What they wanted to do yesterday is not what they wanted to do today. So you're hinging all of this status on a child, and that is risky business. So children have become the new status markers, which means we're seeing kids younger and younger in schools become more stressed out. We've got more pressure on kids with schools. They have more pressure with their sports. There's a whole phenomenon about the professionalization of youth sports, and it's getting younger and younger and younger. And I think culturally we're all very clear that we're stressing out our children, and schools are definitely, they know that this is happening because we have the introduction of SEL curriculum. That stands for social emotional learning. That's woven into their curriculums. So schools are getting it. So we're doing a better job with our kids to help them figure out all of this stress. We're teaching mindfulness in schools. We have SEL. Little kids are learning yoga and PE. So for kids, we're doing a really good job of asking them to be all of these big things at a young age, but we're also giving them the tools. You know who we're not giving the tools? Moms. Moms, which is why we have things like Mom Camp, right? So generally speaking, moms, whether they're working moms or stay-at-home moms, moms are still the managers of the house. Dads are still providers, and that's what it's been generation after generation. Now, yes, we have some stay-at-home dads, but generally speaking, moms are still the CEOs of the house. So if we have a child who's at a tough school or who's doing a lot of sports, who is doing club this and club that and extra skills this and this tutor and this music program, guess who's managing all of that? Moms. But is there a mom SEL program? Are we teaching moms mindfulness? No. What we are seeing is all of these memes and phenomenons about mommy juice and moms and wine and all of these negative coping mechanisms for moms. So while we're asking kids to be the new status markers, which frankly is inappropriate and not developmentally correct, we're also asking moms, who are the driving force behind all these kids, to do it all too, but we're not teaching them how to find their balance. So we have moms who are cracking, and we have moms who are lonely, and we have moms who are sad, and we have moms who have a lack of friends or time to really figure out how to take care of themselves. We've always known that moms have deprioritized themselves, but never to the degree that we're seeing today. Anxiety and depression is still the #1 diagnosis in the United States for adults, and that includes a whole lot of moms. Moms are the emotional pace setters of every single family. So if you have a mom that's unhealthy, you're gonna have a whole system that's unhealthy. So what can we do as moms? First of all, bravo to you today for even registering for mom camp. You're sitting on your couch, you've got your laptop, maybe a phone or a television, maybe you're hiding in a closet somewhere right now watching to get away from your family. You are with other moms who are here to better themselves and to recognize that this experience is extremely difficult. So what I want to touch on today are just a couple of things I want to ask you to do. I want to ask you to work on for your own mental health and the mental health of your family. And the first one is very simple. You might think it's almost too simple, but I'll tell you it's critical, and that is your alone time. Humans need alone time. And I'm not talking about your 20-minute car ride to the office. I'm not talking about the 15 minutes you sit in carpool to pick up your child. I'm talking about your quality time, your quiet time, your sacred time. So maybe it's for you, it's your early morning coffee time. For me, I like to get up before anyone in the house is awake, and I like to drink my coffee and sit, and sometimes I read a book, sometimes I check emails, sometimes I make my list for the day, but whatever it is, it's mine. And everyone knows that's mommy's time. Well, they're all asleep anyway, but if for some reason someone gets up early, they know to leave me alone. That is my time. For some people, maybe you're a night owl. Maybe your time is after everyone goes to bed. Maybe your time is dinner time, when all the kids are somewhere else and you have an hour to yourself before dinner, and that's your quality time. Here's what I want to say. Your quality time has to happen on the daily. Not once a week, not once a month, every single day. To be human, you have to spend quiet time. You have to lower your cortisol levels so that you can function on a healthy level for the rest of your day. Some people say, well, I play tennis on Saturdays, or I have book club once a month, or I have Bible study, every third Saturday. Friends, that's not enough. I'm talking every day, quiet time for yourself. Every day. Figure it out, schedule it if you have to, but it's critical. It's critical. The second thing I want to tell you is your mom tribe is crucial. I get it, you're busy. I'm busy. You've got children. Multiple children, tons of children, right? You work, you stay at home, you own a business, you're a single mom, you're a divorced mom, you're a mom, right? But you need your people. Oftentimes in therapy, moms will say to me, well, I don't have a ton of friends, but my husband, I really share a lot with him. Great, I'm so glad you have a great marriage, but unfortunately that's just not enough. No one knows what this is like except for fellow moms. No one knows what it's like except for fellow moms. You have to find your people that share your values, understand your path, and you understand theirs. What happens when you spend time with other moms is they normalize the experience for you, and then whatever you were stressing about gets a little smaller. That's a concept in therapy where we try to normalize things to bring them down a little bit so that they can become more manageable. You can only get that in a mom tribe with your mom friends. It helps if your children are near the same ages. Sometimes older moms can be so wise that it's not even helpful. If you can find moms that share your values, share your interest, and have children the same age, Well, that's the jackpot of friends right there. But you gotta work for it, and you've gotta find it. A lot of times I will work with a mom in therapy, and I will ask her about her friends, and she will say, well, I'm just really kind of too busy for friends, or I have a college friend, but she lives in Chicago, and there's just really not a ton of connections. And I will say to the mom, if your teenage daughter were having the same issues socially, what would you tell her? And it's the same thing that I tell to moms. If you don't have a friend group, or you don't like your friend group, you have to work to make a new one, just as we tell our children. We coach our children so well on friend issues, but we're not great at doing it ourselves. It doesn't work that way. This is the most intense job on the planet. You cannot do it alone. You've got to find your people. A lot of times in therapy, when I'm working with teenagers and kids, my question to them is, tell me about your mom. Give me a few words to describe your mom. They always, literally 100% of the time, the first word is caring or crazy, but usually caring. And then I will say, does your mom have a lot of friends? And some kids will say, oh yeah, she's got a ton of friends. She does this, this, and this. They go to dinner, they live in the neighborhood, she takes a walk every morning with her, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, in my mind, I'm like, that's a healthy mom. But here's the mom I'm worried about. When a child says, when I ask them, does your mom have a lot of friends? And they say, not really. Well, does she ever go out to dinner, or does she ever see friends, or do anything with just girlfriends? No, not really. She talks to her mom or her sister, but no, not really. In my mind, that's a red flag, because that's a mom who's out of balance, who has deprioritized herself, and her system, her family system, will pay that price. Moms are the emotional pace setters of every single family. You have to keep yourself well to keep your system well. So 2 things. Your sacred time is critical every single day. Not once a week, not once a month, not every so often, every day. Every day where it's quiet, it's uninterrupted, and you're focused on you. Secondly, your tribe is critical. If you don't have one, or the one you're in is toxic, or you can't really be yourself, that is on you to work to create your new tribe. Do you know why Brené Brown is such a hit right now? You know who I'm talking about, right? Brené Brown, the vulnerability lady, Oprah's new bestie. Why is she such a hit right now? Because she keeps it real. She keeps it real. She's not out there trying to tell you what you should do or what you should be. She basically just keeps it real. We like when people are real because it normalizes our experience. I had a mom in therapy tell me once she was at a cocktail party. Her daughter goes to a private school in the area, and all the moms were being very polite and playing nice about the school, and they were all getting to know each other. And my client finally said, actually, it really sucks. Like, my daughter has like 8 hours of homework every night, and we are really struggling. And she said immediately there was like a swarm of moms who just came right to her, lowered their shoulders, leaned their heads in, and said, oh my God, us too. Now, if that one mom wasn't honest in that moment, that would have been the most fakey fake cocktail party where everyone just left, went home, and just gone about their business. But one mom was real. One mom said, we're struggling in my house. One mom said, yeah, this is a great school, but oh my God, the homework. And everyone else around her said, yes, me too, right? That is why you need your people, to help normalize the experience and bring it down and make it more manageable. So your sacred time, your quiet time, and your girlfriends. If you can start there today, I promise you, in 6 months, you will feel more full, more capable, more confident, and more in control of yourself and your mood and your feelings and your family. You'll be better for it, and they will be better for it. I promise you that.